Hello, welcome to Campus News 24. We are broadcasting live from the heart of our news hub here at the Ghana Institute of Journalism. My name is Fritz Delanyo Megashi. Today on the program, we have the Women's Commissioner of this very institution. Ever since she took over her office, there have been a deluge of issues, and today we get to unpack all the issues and ask all the begging questions. Interestingly enough, today she had a press conference to address some of these issues. She's here in the studios with me. Edna, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You look good.
Thank you. You do too.
Right. You had a press conference today, setting the record straight.
Yeah.
What informed that?
Okay, so I think that the Women's Commission sent a letter to General Assembly on Sunday, forgotten the date. And after this letter was sent, a whole lot of things came up. I saw a communique from General Assembly, a notice saying that there is going to be a meeting, and in that meeting, an emergency meeting, there was going to be, one of the agenda was going to be the WOCOM budget stroke SRC conflict. And then again, they mentioned the fate of GIJ and Women's Week celebrations. I mean, for a budget that has already been approved, and then General Assembly is going to determine its fate again. I think the fate was determined actually. Yeah. So the first bit that talked about WOCOM SRC conflict. There was actually something, I noticed from a studio account saying there is this banter between Redeemer and I. So we wanted students to know that that notice was just an update. When the Women's Commissioner was presenting the budget, I said that I would update General Assembly on how much is given. And so even if I was given 20,000, I would have updated, just as we rendered accounts for the monies we raised ourselves as a commission last semester. And so we wanted to make it clear that regardless of how much we have been given, it looks as though there isn't going to be any more funds per the series of meetings we've been having. And so we are going to operate with this amount. But why not we ask these questions? We initiated a petition during the press conference that for the sake of transparency, there have been, for over 5 years now, signatories to accounts have gone away without properly accounting for the monies that are entrusted in their hands. So this is just to, have systems and measures in place where signatories to accounts render proper accounts and will be on their toes when handling students' fund. And so we are collecting signatures from as many students as possible. We want, the target is 1/4 of the student population, and then it will be forwarded to the Dean of Students, and we wash our hands off. We want to set the right measures in place, even for the next generation and the generations after.
In 6 of the things you detailed on setting the record straight, I'd like to make mention to number 3, where you said, I'm not fighting for the remaining accounts, I'm only asking questions to how 250,000 Ghana cedis is exhausted, as the Financial Secretary suggests, without any significant programs or assets purchased by the SRC. This suggests that there's something wrong with that office, right?
Okay, so this point in here is trying to say that, as far as we are concerned, I do not even know how much is allocated for what entire.
You have furniture in your office, you have tables, you are saying you don't see any assets, you don't see any significant. Those things are significant.
We met the furniture and the structure when we came into office. But aside that, beside the point, there have been activities. But I am trying to say that looking at how much is entrusted in the care of the signatories, we haven't seen value for money to the extent that we will be saying at this early part that there is no money. The Financial Secretary has clearly said to me and to Anthony Nadai of the Founder PRB that there is no money. He works with me, and so that is why, in the bid to speak to us, after they gave us the 5,000, we were at a meeting, and the President mentioned that we should keep it amongst ourselves. We were 4.
Keep what among yourself?
The fact that I've gotten 5,000 cedis out of 20,000.
Okay.
We were 4. Anthony Nadai, myself.
When he said that, did you suspect any suspicion?
Whether or not I suspected, I had promised General Assembly that they will know how much I get. And so
So whether he told you not to say it, you are going to say it after
I
all?
owed the student body. I mean,
Okay.
so students know how much of their funds has been given to the commission to work with, just for accountability. So.
But do you think it's a fair comment to make? Because then again, I'm still dwelling on there's no significant assets or, properties. You have furniture, you are paid allowances, 100 cedis every month. Is that not significant? And is it not, that's very unfair to the president or to the office of the president if you say you've not seen any significant developments.
Like I said,
yeah.
Looking at the amount that they get to handle, and then the expenditure that has been made. I mean, the activities, if there are, that have been held, and the project that have been embarked on, it doesn't look like there has been value for money. About the allowance bits and all other things, like I mentioned, the furniture we met. The allowance bits is a matter for another day. So yeah.
Right. So, what exactly do you want to accomplish with the petition? We understand it's already been rolled out. How many classes are supposed to sign, and what do you hope to achieve at the end of the day?
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, we are looking at getting signatures from about 1/4 of the student population. And then the end game is that, the end game of this petition is that we want to hand this over. I mean that there's a preamble to the part where we get students to write their names and sign. That we present this to the Dean of Students. I mean in other schools it is done. The Dean of Students is also a signatory to the account. Well, I am not categorically stating that the Dean of Students should be a signatory, but I am saying that I do not think that it is right for the president who handles funds, to in the end appoint someone to audit him. And it doesn't even end there. For about 5 years now, these signatures have gone away without properly accounting for what was given them. So if there is this constant external supervisor, then whether or not they are around, they still get to be cross-checked. And this will put leaders on their toes when they assume office, knowing fully well that there is a day of reckoning where you will be called upon to account for every single peso that was entrusted in you.
Great. Speaking of the petition, we heard that today GIJ summoned you to explain. Can you just walk us through what happened?
Okay. So I told you I updated GIJ. The information they put out there was distorted, as though there was a feud. And so the structure as I entered GIJ was that there was a motion and a counter motion. Financial Secretary, what is your take about this? Women's Commissioner, what is your take about that? So I think the Financial Secretary started and he made certain points that one, he saw on social media that an amount of 39,000 was approved. And this is the blatant lie. One, the Financial Secretary was seated at Lecture Hall A2 on the right side when this budget was approved. And secondly, an amount of 20,000 was approved and not 39,000. Out of this 20,000, 12,000 for face of GIJ instead of the 34,000, and then 8,000 for women's celebrations. And a lot of other things that he said. He also mentioned that the reason why we've even gotten to this point is the fact that the General Assembly didn't consult them to know how much is in the account before approving of how much we have. You understand? So these points were raised. I cleared the air because I was called upon to clear the air. And then there were a number of questions from GM and then they were all answered.
How was the mood? What's the mood there? Can you paint a picture of the mood at GIJ today?
Well, at the initial part, there was a first session of today's GA meeting and there was a second session. So at a point, General Assembly members started asking questions. I remember Honorable Zach started asking questions concerning the accounts. That's okay, fine. I can't quite remember what he asked of. Yes, I remember now. He mentioned that, okay, let's give you the benefit of the doubt. You say you had 39,000 cedis as opening balance. What has the money been used for? And I think at the point, I don't know how things went. Things went out of hand, and the speaker got angry. I think he felt he was being challenged or was being interjected when he was speaking. And so the speaker walked out on General Assembly members. So there was chaos in the room. I even thought the meeting had ended.
Chaos? Did we have any fighting where people had any casualties?
There were verbal fights.
Verbal fights,
Yes.
people, hot exchanges.
Hot exchanges. So,
Do you know anybody who had that hot exchange with the speaker or something?
Oh, I don't know. I can't point out anyone. I don't. Yes. So there was a break. I mean, before that even, the speaker, Honorable Zach was asking Honorable Regina to answer this question, and then the speaker was answering for him. And it looked like anytime there was a question addressed to the financial secretary, the speaker answered for him. And I think it is not right.
Did you raise questions?
Well, as and when I thought that I had something to say, I came in.
No, I meant when he was doing this and you felt it was unfair.
Okay.
Did you raise questions?
My attention was even drawn to it when it was so glaring. I'm sure even everybody in there saw the fact that when Zach asked that question, the microphone wasn't even given to the financial secretary. The speaker took it, and then he started talking. So as the speaker was speaking, we saw the financial secretary walk out. Then there was a fight between the speaker and Zach. And then the speaker got angry. He walked out on GNMS.
Do you see this as a deliberate attempt to make the issues unpopular, sweep them under the carpet, and make students disregarded? Do you feel that the speaker or GA itself and some of the members are in bed with the administration? Honestly, your honest opinion.
Well, as an observer, not as a women's commissioner.
Well, I'm speaking to you in the capacity of a women's commissioner.
Even as an observer, from where I sat, it looked like there was something going on, something fishy. Because students, General Assembly members were asking the financial secretary. They got to delicate matters where we needed him. Because I think that this meeting, if there was anything that should have been asked, and if there was anything that should have been stretched, is that how come this amount has been approved, there is no money, and whatnot? Where is the money? So when we got to that point in time, the speaker tried to answer for the financial secretary and makes it look like there is actually an agenda being set. I do not know, but I don't understand why there was a break. I think the speaker mentioned that the meeting has been called off. I'm not sure, but GNMS, some dispersed. And then all of a sudden, we saw them coming, and then the speaker came in. They sat, they continued with the meeting. But at that point, some people had left. Now, that second part of the meeting, someone came. He said he used to be a GA member during someone's administration. I don't remember the person. And, well, he was there to advise us since he's been there before. So he was.
Was he? Do you know him? Have you seen him before?
I have not seen him before.
Or he just there as an observer?
Oh, but I'm sure some people have seen because nobody.
Anybody spoke about him?
Yeah, I think Honorable Gozo mentioned that he knew him or he was there during the time. But I do not
know him.
Do not know him. So they were asking him questions. So I don't know how it got to this point.
Did you see it as fair? Is it the right thing? Is it the legitimate thing?
No, at a point, the house was like this. After he was introduced, the speaker, or if any honorable member brings up a point, we refer to the man in question. I think he's called Ian.
Ian.
To set the record straight. And so every single detail he is asked, and then he sets the record straight. So at a point, he mentioned that in the Constitution, it doesn't say that the Women's Commission is supposed to present a budget. And so what should be done is that the Women's Commission is an executive who is part of the executive body. And so my budget was supposed to be captured in the financial secretary's budget. Now, someone mentioned that the Constitution says the Women's Commission should present proposals of activities for every semester, at the beginning of every semester. So when that was said, he mentioned that, well, these proposals do not come with allocations or money. if there is any money, the financial secretary will allocate money that this is how much we are looking at giving the commission. And then the Women's Commission will come and present a budget and show us what and what and what will go into it. After which, if the Women's Commission's proposal, I mean, if they say it's not a budget, why then should it even exceed? He said if you come again and it exceeds what he presented, then you look at sponsorship and then the House will decide or whatever.
Now, let's look at how far do you hope to go with this petition? I mean, if you take it as a student, the dean of students, we don't see a result. How far do you hope to go with this petition?
Okay, before I even started this, I had a talk with him.
Okay.
I spoke with him.
You spoke to him.
Yeah.
Can you share with us details of those talks? What exactly did you talk about?
I informed him
Okay.
about, the fact that it's done in other schools. There is the need for accountability. I don't know if I mentioned that there was once when, even before I presented my budget, and there is this they are misrepresenting what happened. They are saying that they do not see my budget before I presented. And I know that some of them went around telling people my budget, such that even students knew how much I was going to present even before I go to General Assembly. So they knew, to set the record straight. I presented the budget, they told me...
Let's stick to what the dean of students said. We want to get assurances. What did he assure you that you think that this petition would yield results? What did he say?
Okay, so he wants responses from students. There should be a substantial number of students who are
to sign the petition.
Yes, who agree to this, and then we take it up from there. There's a legal
Did he state flatly what he will be doing exactly?
No.
Right. So we take a quick break. We'll come back and continue the conversation. It's still myself and the Women's Commissioner of the Ghana Institute of Journalism. Do stay.
It has to do with issues relating to the WOCOM budget and all the matters arising, and there were concerns raised about due diligence that General Assembly couldn't do, and the fact that we were supposed to ask some questions when a certain statement was presented to the Financial Secretary. Myself, I was not in the city, so I wasn't at that meeting. So I made reference to those statements and the others to try and arrive at a question, to give it a certain context. So I put a question forward, made reference to those issues, and the speaker raised the concern that these are things that General Assembly should have done long ago, and because we didn't do it, going forward in our subsequent GA meetings, we should be at least diligent enough to do them. I was trying to draw the speaker's attention that, look, we are not talking about subsequent GA meetings, we are talking about now. This General Assembly meeting, we are here, maybe we didn't do it then, we want to do it now, so give us the room to do it. And the point he's trying to make is that we're going forward in our next meetings, we'll try and do them. But which other next meeting there is? Well, he didn't make his point. He said subsequent GA meetings and subsequent GA meetings telling us that in our next meetings. That is not what we want. We want to address the issues now.
But you triggered?
Well, yes, I put a question to the Financial Secretary to answer, and he decided to respond before the Financial Secretary spoke, and I wasn't so comfortable but giving the room. And while he was speaking, he was suggesting that subsequent meetings, when we want to address the issues here, But
you understand that before you talk, you are given a chance to talk, and you were cutting him abruptly with the stuff like that.
I think that is some of the what will I call it? The excesses that come up with General Assembly. It's one of the excesses where you get the feeling that where the speaker is going, it might not help in the discourse you want to have. So you try to interrupt him here. It's one of the excesses. It's not very parliamentary, but it's one of the excesses that do come up, and every now and then you do come up. I wanted to condone it myself, but I'll call it one of the excesses that happen here. It's not something that I'll condone, but it's one of the excesses.
If you don't see any concrete action from the GA, what do you hope personally to do to make sure that some of these hiccups, some of these problems must...
Well, the reason why we gathered here to try and understand why, say, the Women's Commission was not getting funding for the project, okay? That is we wanted to understand that, okay? And it looks like there's a certain... I'm not so clear about it. That's why I like to put the question. But I think going forward, what we are hoping to see is to see probably a reconvening of General Assembly for the matters we address.
Welcome back from that short breather. We're still here with the Women's Commissioner, finally wrapping up on our conversation. Edna, How do students get to sign this petition?
Well, so any student who wants to sign this petition can walk up to the Office of the Women's Commission. There are forms available. And then also we have WOCOM reps. We have WOCOM reps. We've given copies to some of them so far. So we plan on giving to each of them. And so anyone who wants to sign, I mean, it's not compulsory. You read the premise and then when you agree, you sign to it.
Do you have an online presence for those who may not have the man, or is there an arrangement like that?
No, please, there hasn't been, but we consider that. I think it's a good idea.
Right. So now you have 5,000. How are you going to organize the events?
Well, so we plan on getting partnerships as much as possible. With the venue, for instance, we changed the plan we had. You cannot be. I mean, National Theatre, the one we presented was even the main auditorium, 14,000, which is, I mean, way outrageous compared to what we have. There's other option, which is the exhibition hall, 500 seater capacity.
That's just the amounts they've given you.
It's 3,750.
So just over half of the amount.
Yes, so you can imagine, if I pay for that and I take care of chairs and tables,
They'll nothing.
about 1,000 cedis, we have 250, maybe for transport, seeking after sponsorship, and then there's no.
So you live on the mercies of God.
So we are trying to find partnerships.
Okay.
I contacted someone I know at Alisa. We are trying to get the place for free. We know we have an awards show with Tianti, so we want to have a package together. That we want to use your venue for both the awards show and Face of GIJ. And we know that the Tianti thing will sell to hotels because she's going to cover it live. I mean, via her standpoint show, and so it's actually bringing people's attention, drawing people's attention to your premise. So that is what we are trying to lobby for. But well,
Until then, you live on the mercies of God. Right? Well, how interesting does this get? Thank you very much, Edna, for your time and speaking to us. Well, students have been asking several questions, several of them, and this is getting interesting as the days go by. Now we're asking, how did the SRC spend the money? Over 250,000 Ghana cedis, 2.5 billion old cedis. Are they saying they spent this money on the Aquaba weekend trip, the exercise book, and other activities they undertook? Well, in our next interview, we'll be speaking to the Financial Secretary to seek answers. Thank you very much for sticking with us. My name is Fred Delanyo Megashi. This has been Campus News 24.